All right, folks, welcome back. You know, it was March will be a year that Pope Francis was selected as Pope. And in that short time, he has amazed and touched the hearts of so many people. And joining us now is the co-author of a great new book, the definitive biography, as it says on the cover. It's Francis, the Pope. Let me take two. Francis, a Pope for our time, and we welcome in Luis Rosales. Hello, Luis. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today.
Thank you, Stephen. It's a pleasure to me to trying to explain this really incredible phenomenon which is Pope Francis. Especially for me, it's a great honor to do it because I am an Argentine and I'm a journalist, so trying to explain an Argentinian phenomenon in the United States, it's such an honor to me.
Well, I appreciate that. And you know, you grew up in Argentina. You lived through all the political turmoil, all the changes, as did the Pope. So let me ask you this, and we should tell people you're a political consultant. You served in politics in Argentina at a very young age. You started. You now partnered with Dick Morris in that region. You worked on many different campaigns. So briefly, what led you to undertake this book?
It was principally because the selection of Francis as Pope is probably the most political situation in Argentina for many, many years, practically 1 or 2 generations.
Right. So you wanted to tell this story. Okay. Now, how did
practically 1 or 2 generations?
Right. So you wanted to tell this story. Okay. Now, how did this Pope? How was he influenced? And how did being from Argentina? How did what went on in that country throughout his lifetime turn him into the Pope he is? How did his experience culminate in his actions that he's exhibited so far as Pope, do you believe?
You have to take into consideration that he is a Jesuit, which means a lot. The Jesuits represents one of the most intellectual brands or branches inside the Catholic Church. And he is also mixed Argentinian, or is pure Argentinian, but with Italian blood. So his cultural configuration is a mix between Latin America and Europe, which is very important for the future development of the Church, because the Catholic Church has the majority of its followers both in Europe and Latin America. So maybe there are two very important reasons for what the rest of the cardinals choose him as Pope. He used to be the intellectual leader of the Catholic Church, of the Latin American Catholic Church, for many years. So he did a big effort in the past representing the Catholic of Latin America in all the inside circles of the Catholic Church.
Yeah, and when you talk about Francis, Pope for Our Time, being the definitive biography, I can't think of anybody more qualified, really, than you to, with your background and his background, to tell the story. Because in some ways, obviously, you're a politician and an author now, and he is the Pope. But in some ways, there's a shared history there.
Yeah, and he is a politician too. At the end of the day, he's a politician ruling the Church. You know that the Catholic Church needs a lot of
man in the serving as Pope right now. Francis, a Pope for Our Time, the definitive biography.
Rich.
Yeah.
And it is not a light issue.
That is one of the things that's been so impressive about him. Absolutely. And so that really hits you. That's exactly, it's well said. And thank you again, sir, for your time. Thank you very much. All right, folks, Francis, a Pope for Our Time. And
The Steve Malzberg Show.